Yeah, and you do buy into it, and but it's not just people of low intelligence.
Oh
buy
no,
into it,
there's
which
very
is
smart people in this.
Which is
they have lawyers.
Oh yeah, lawyers and all sorts of people.
Yeah, I know they got lawyers. Travolta.
Yeah,
I mean, there's all. I mean, and I'm not necessarily a Cruise fan, but I'm a huge Travolta fan. I love his work, and it always turns me away that he's into this stuff.
Yeah, it's been a puzzle. Back in the '70s when he got involved,
There's a rap that says this: when they catch these guys when they either have to mask something, cover up something, or their career's in trouble, or a combination of all three, which always led me back to why Lisa Marie goes after Michael Jackson. Isn't it interesting? This is when Jackson is being exposed that Never Never Land is simply a place to trap young boys and take them into Michael's bedroom.
Yeah.
That's what he built. He built an enormous trap for young boys.
Yeah, exactly. It is true. I have read A Policy by L. Ron Hubbard. Mm-hmm. And this was written way back in the 50s. And he said that, we want to get celebrities. They are great promotion. They're high-profile people that can speak about Scientology and get others interested. And named some of the big-name celebrities of the day as specific. He called them query, actually.
Yeah, sure.
And he said that you would want to get either someone who is just starting out in their career or is kind of over the hill. Mm-hmm. And so if you can sort of either revive their career or give a boost to a beginning person, and that would be the ideal thing. That would be the best promotion for Scientology. And I know they did that with Tom Cruise because I was part of it, of wooing him into Scientology and getting him really in the fold.
Let me do this. I'm at a hard break. 8:31:29 before the hour. We'll talk about Cruise, Travolta, why you got out, and what the most inner secret is of Scientology. It's a Thursday morning, 21st of February. I'm Peter Boyles. We got the chance for snow today. 41's the high. Just a great guest. 8:36, 24 minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock. Scientology on the air everywhere on a Thursday, 21st of February. I'm Peter Boyles. A shot at snow. When we had the fellow on from Ireland regarding Scientology, I got a really terrific email from our guest, Boyles Hines, who has been involved or was involved with Scientology for 30 years, working with Nicole Kidman, Christy Alley. We're talking about Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Lisa Marie Presley, who we're talking about off air. It is a remarkable, remarkable story you tell. Two things quickly. What happened to make you say that's enough and walk out?
At the time I was in New York City, this was in 2003, I'd been sent there to work on renovations of the building, they call it a church, that they have on 46th, right off of Times Square. And just being in New York City and the energy and the creativity that's around, I think that had an effect on getting me to look more broadly than the narrow viewpoint that I had. I also was in disagreement with some changes that had taken place. At the time, I still would have said I was a Scientologist, but I didn't see how I could support these changes I didn't agree with and stay.
What had happened? What were the changes?
These were of a technical nature.
Okay.
They were made by David Miscavige, and he called it the golden age of tech. They use the word tech or technology, which I think now is a misnomer. But and there were some. I had been an auditor for many years, and I didn't think that some of the things that were coming out were correct. So anyway, another thing is my son, who had been with me in New York, he left, so I felt I no longer was.
He left Scientology?
Yeah, he left the Sea organization also from Buffalo.
And how old was he at the time?
He was 18.
Okay.
So I, anyway, I didn't feel I needed to stay to protect him or to be with him. I leave, and for the first time in ever, I could read the internet. I had my first cell phone.
You weren't allowed to have any of those things?
No. No television.
Okay.
Very limited exposure to newspapers, magazines.
Same thing is very interesting you say that, because that's Crazy for God. That's what they talked about in the Moonies.
Yeah.
that was called Of the World.
Yeah.
Anything that was out there was of the world. Television, movies.
Yeah, and it's the same concept in Scientology.
Okay,
They don't use that
that's
word.
interesting. It's the same cult setup.
Yeah, and you're sheltered from all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I then proceeded to learn that L. Ron Hubbard lied through his teeth about his life and the things he'd done. He wasn't really a war hero like we thought, and he wasn't really a nuclear physicist.
No.
I have a degree in physics that I got since I left. That was part of the hook for me personally, was the fact, wow, this guy's a nuclear physicist. He must know what he's talking about.
And Sun Moon's not really Jesus Christ.
Right. And and I learned a lot. It's interesting. When you're in, you experience negative things. And the mindset you're in and the way you're taught, you think they're isolated. Bad hat or bad egg that you run into.
But, and Freud talks about that, and that if we both believe the same thing, that people talk about a menage, but, if three of us believe in UFOs or in the other room, the fourth guy believes it, we all believe it. They're in there.
Yeah.
We don't have to go look.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it happens. So
the grand illusion.
Yeah, and you learn, you get into a mindset where you just accept ideas because that's what is supposedly reality. So I saw that there were I got in contact and I read about other people who had experiences very similar to mine. And I realized that they weren't isolated. It was part of the culture, and that they were a result of the whole philosophy and the policies laid down by L. Ron Hubbard that were followed. And I came to see that the organization itself is sick. Yeah. And so that's when I started to speak out against it.
Yeah. Has anybody retaliated on you?
No, very little. I believe that they get far fewer new members than they used to.
Yeah, I do.
Partly because of Tom Cruise and all the negative publicity that generated.
Plus this new internet, Anonymous.
Yeah, that's
cool stuff.
Thing.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
I read that on the Scientology organization, which is where Cinderella City used to be, just off of Hampton and Bannock, that these anonymous people right here in Denver on February the 10th, they had nearly 100 people out there protesting.
I know.
Which I think that's amazing that many people in Denver would show up.
Information will set people free.
Yeah, it does.
The more you read, the more you know.
And that is what happened to me, because I finally had access to information. I could learn more about this organization I've been part of. What you're exposed to is very, very tightly controlled while you're in.
Oh, yeah. It has to be.
Yeah.